Okay, these are your assignments for Tuesday, September 1st. We have read the prologue for Beowulf, and we're ready to get started with the actual story. So today's going to be pretty exciting as far as the reading goes. But before we do that, there are several assignments that you're going to look at first to lead up to and work with the reading. So these are your assignments. I'm just kind of walking you through it as we go on the screen. These are your assignments. I know it looks like a lot, but it's really not. You're just doing a few things here and there along with the reading. So the first thing that you're going to do is a journal topic, basically. It's called a focus activity in the study guide, but it's basically just a journal topic, okay, to get us ready for the part of the reading that we're doing now. So I haven't pulled anything up yet because I just wanted to remind you where to look for everything. I'm in the daily assignments in Google Classroom. Remember to always be on the classwork tab. And then remember that up here above, I have these materials for Beowulf. So we have the online version, the link to the online version. I'm going to go ahead and pull that up because I know that I'm going to have to be reading. Okay. Then we also have the study guide, and I'm going to pull that up as well because I'm going to have to be working out of the study guide. Now, I'm going to go ahead and open this. Let's see. I'm sorry. I'm going to go ahead and come over here to more actions. I'm going to open this in a new window so that I can go back to my assignments, and I don't have that covering up my assignments. Okay. So back to our Tuesday list of assignments. So the very first thing is write a response to the focus activity topic on the study guide, page 16. So I've got these two tabs open so I can refer back to them and go back and forth. But on the study guide, I'm just going to scroll down to page 16. And this is where my list of, this is page 16, this is where my list of vocabulary is that I've already written sentences for. We're going to do something else with the vocab in just a minute. But before we get started with that, we're going to look at this focus topic, okay? So the question is, who are today's heroes? Who are today's heroes? What special qualities do these people possess? So I'm going to go ahead and write a response to that. And this is just your opinion. You can talk about groups of people. You can talk about specific individuals in our society. It does need to be real, okay? We're not talking about Spider-Man or Superman at this point. This needs to be a real person or a real group of people in our society today. So you could talk about people like John F. Kennedy or Martin Luther King Jr., who are basically have influenced our society, but they're no longer with us. You could talk about somebody like that. But I want you to try to think of someone in our society today. So you're just going to write this journal topic. And remember that all of these assignments, you have two options. You can either type them up in Google Docs, or you can write them on notebook paper, and then you're going to take a picture of it later. Don't forget, though, that you have several different assignments. So the very last point that I'm always going to have on this list is what you're going to submit. So if you can do all this on the same sheet of paper or in the same Google Doc, that would be best. So you just submit one thing, one paper, okay? All right, so after I write my response to that topic, which is just my opinion, I can't get it wrong, number 2 is going to be a little bit different. I don't know if you've done this in other classes, but the vocabulary that we also have on page 16 that you already wrote a sentence, an original sentence for each word, you're going to draw pictures today for the vocab. Now, here's the theory behind this. The theory is that if you can, when you look at the definition of the word, you have an image in your mind of what that looks like. Okay, it may not be the same image that somebody else has in their mind, but you still have an image. So the theory is that if you can associate that image when you're trying to remember the definition of the word, or when you're trying to match up the definition to the word, it's going to help you understand it better. So what we're going to do today for each of your vocabulary words, we have the word layer, lament, loathsome, purge, reparation, reprisal, solace. For each of those words, you're going to just draw a little picture. And obviously this part of the assignment, well, you could draw it if you have an art program on your computer, if you want to try to draw it somehow online on the computer. Don't just copy and paste a picture. It has to be something you draw. I am not going to grade you or judge you on your artwork, so you don't have to worry about that. Um, I'm not an artist, and I'm not grading that. But I want you to draw something that you imagine, that you think of when you look at the definition of the word. So you may have to do this part on notebook paper and take a picture of it. Okay? So that's the second assignment that we have. Then the third assignment is the reading. So we're going to go ahead and read. We're going to get into the story itself. We're going to go ahead and read parts 1 and 2. Now, if you look at your online version of the story, I'm going to scroll on down past the prologue, which we've already read. It is divided after the prologue into parts. Okay, so here we have part 1, and we're reading parts 1 and 2 today. So as you can see, it's not very much reading. It's about maybe 2.5 pages. So we're just reading parts 1 and 2. Parts 1 and 2 is specifically about the monster. It's about the villain that the story starts out with. Now, if you think about a lot of your superhero movies or superhero stories, a lot of times, or even just crime shows, crime stories, crime television shows, that kind of thing. A lot of times, if you think about it, you don't start out with the hero or the detective or the person who's going to solve the crime or save the day. You start out with the villain. You get to see what the villain's doing. You get to meet the villain, find out what kind of person they are, or in this case, it's a monster we're talking about, so what kind of monster this is. So that's what you're doing today. You're reading about the villain. So parts 1 and 2 are going to basically introduce you to Grendel, who is our monster, our villain, that Beowulf is going to have to encounter. It's going to tell you, something about Grendel. It's going to tell you what Grendel's doing that makes him a monster. So that's the portion we're reading today. Okay? So we're going to read parts 1 and 2. It's not very much reading. It won't take you very long. And then you're going to do 2 other assignments in response to this on the study guide. So you're going to come back to the study guide, go to page 18, and I know we're scrolling down past some of the graphic organizer, but that's okay. Go down to page 18. 18 and 19 are the response pages of the study guide for the parts we're reading right now. And you're just going to answer one question. You go back to your assignments. You're just going to answer question 3. Because question 3 is about Grendel. So you're going to briefly describe Grendel. So this is just a brief description. This is just a first impression. What do we know about Grendel, and what might he symbolize in this story? Okay? And then the last assignment you're going to do today is the Learning for Life assignment that's on page 19. So some of these don't have numbers. If I go back to the study guide, I'm going to scroll down to the next page, which is page 19. And some of these assignments after the questions don't have numbers. They just have titles. So we're looking at the Learning for Life assignment right here. And it says, using the author's descriptions of Grendel, and you've already answered that question where you briefly described him, develop a psychological profile of Grendel. Now, what in the world does that mean? Well, it just tells you in the next sentence. Describe the monster's personality and possible motivations for his behavior. Now, you're saying, I just described him. I just answered a question that described him. Well, we're going to delve a little bit deeper now than just a brief description. We're going to talk about maybe some of his motivations, not just what is he like and what is he doing, but why. Why is he doing this? What is behind this behavior? What is behind him being a villain? So you're going to delve a little bit deeper into the monster. So our whole goal today is to learn about Grendel and try to understand him. Okay? That is our entire goal for the assignments today. And then if you go back again to your list of assignments, notice that it tells you what to submit. You're going to submit the journal response that you had to this focus activity. You're going to submit the vocab pictures, and I know you may have to draw those. You may be able to do them on the computer. Then your answer to number 3, and then your Learning for Life response. So you're going to submit those assignments to this Google Classroom assignment, and then you're done for the day. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. and I will answer you as soon as I'm not in class. But go ahead and try to learn about Grendel and find out some things behind why he's doing what he's doing. Our monster for the story, for the first part of the story. That's a little hint for you.